Do you sometimes get a feeling that a certain muscle is not working properly? It feels tight, so you always stretch it, but it always gets tight again. So many runners believe that when they have a muscle firing imbalance, it's due to weakness. This doesn't really make sense for a high-function athlete when no real injury has taken place. Muscles do not radically lose muscle fiber quantity or size and don't lose unilateral muscle strength simply due to weakness. Stick around for the real reason. Kia ora team, Brad here for the Run Experience. As a physio, I see runners misfiring all the time. They think the muscle is weak. A muscle isn't feeling right. It's always tight. It doesn't respond to that constant stretching. Well, it's a little bit more complex. You see, it's called neuromuscular inhibition. Think of it as a short-circuiting of the nerve-muscle connection. There are a number of reasons for the loss of connection, and three main types. The first one, pain inhibition. This is pain with or without inflammation, and it creates a protective deactivation of the surrounding muscle groups. This neural protective mechanism is useful in the first 72 hours after an injury, but creates major issues when it persists. I see this so often in knee injuries and post-knee surgery, where the quad stays inhibited even though there is no damage to the quad muscle itself. In the case post-knee surgery, the role of the immediate knee firing exercises is less about strength and more about turning that quad power back on. The other area of the body I see this a lot is in the lower back pain and decreased ability to fire the core muscles around that lower back pain. The next, proprioceptive inhibition. This is a situation where surrounding muscle groups deactivate if a joint system loses range or becomes misaligned. Neutral posture allows automatic stabilizing muscles to activate. And I see this so often with the lower back and pelvis. You see, the pelvis is not rigid. It can become slightly misaligned. For example, when you miss a step and land heavily on one foot by surprise, well, this can create a sacroiliac joint or pubis symphysis shearing injury. The misaligning of the pelvis, this creates an inhibition of the core, spinal, and hip musculature. Sometimes weak glutes can be due to stiffness in the spine or the hips, and has nothing to do with the muscle strength and size. The next, disuse inhibition, is the most locally influenced. These muscle groups become inhibited if they are not loaded. One easy way to demonstrate this is the hip hinge during a squat. If runners don't work on this hip hinge movement, they won't be able to put any force into the hip complex when they run. Running without a developed and strength-trained hip hinge will make it neuromuscularly impossible to fire the glutes effectively. They become disused. I call it gluteal amnesia. This is why you should have squats and deadlifts as part of your strength plan. The runner becomes quad and hamstring dominant, and then this creates a multitude of inefficiency issues, resulting in tight hamstrings and lower back pain. So how do you fix the inhibition and get running smoothly again? Well, number one, you resolve the pain. The best thing is to change your training so the pain story doesn't get worse. If the pain during, after, or the next day is not improving, you are contributing to the inhibition. Offload your running with some cycling, swimming. Get a plan and stick to it. Number two, get more flexible. Stiff knees, hips, and the spine will inhibit the local stability and global mobility muscles around them. The most effective way to stretch the hip, back, and knees is to start a yoga practice. The best time to start that is yesterday. Number three, optimize neutral posture to allow muscles to do their job. The best advice here is to limit your sitting. If you sit for more than 2.5 hours a day, you will accelerate your hip and back stiffness and your glute weakness. This adds up to poor posture and major inefficiency when you try to run. Overall, motion, done correctly, is lotion for the neuromuscular system. Rest is rust. Sitting in inactivity corrodes your system, setting it up to be short-circuited. Here at the Run Experience, we love to promote framework activity to enhance your running. So along with flexibility, strength is required to ensure neuromuscular efficiency. So here is a simple circuit to help boost full body strength. So earn those miles with efficient firing, get stronger, more flexible, champion compassion. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.